Imagine sitting in your room, toiling day and night, studying page after page of an SAT prep book. You take the SAT, hoping, praying you can get a 1310, the average SAT score for UCSD admissions, only to look on the College Board website and see your score of 1,000. Disappointed, you set your head down, feeling frustrated with yourself, a sense of unworthiness washing over you because you know how hard it will be to get into your dream school with such a low score. Now, what if I told you your scores had little to no bearing on your ability to succeed in college, or defining your readiness for college? Well, the truth of the matter is, they don't. According to the Princeton Review, the purpose of the SAT is to measure a high school student's readiness for college. Yet many studies show that GPA has a stronger correlation for a student's ability to succeed compared to the SAT. A study done by William Bowen and Michael McPherson, former presidents of Princeton University and Macalester College, addressed what characteristics predicted graduation rates at a group of more than 50 public universities. In all but one of these more than 50 public universities, GPA remained a highly significant predictor of 6-year graduation rates. This means that when determining a student's ability to succeed in college and receive a degree, GPA remained a highly significant predictor compared to the SAT. Many students have a high GPA, but are so worried about their low SAT scores that they don't take the time to realize their worth and their potential to be admitted at other colleges and universities that don't require the SAT. What most students don't realize is that some universities require the SAT, and some universities are SAT optional and don't require students to submit their scores. Currently, there are 1,000 test-optional colleges and universities, and counting, that are leading the way towards granting students a higher education. One of these universities is known as George Washington University. A study done at George Washington University compared students who submitted their SAT scores at test-optional colleges to students who did not submit SAT scores at these same colleges. They took 2 years' worth of data and found that students who submitted their scores performed no better as freshmen and sophomores than those who did not submit SAT scores. They found that high school GPA had a stronger correlation with college success for non-submitters than the SAT or ACT, both in terms of college cumulative GPA and graduation rates, and that the test scores continued to most strongly correlate with family income. This exemplifies the notion that the SAT is not an accurate predictor of a student's ability to succeed, but rather hinders and undermines a student's ability to succeed in college. I believe if more universities began to become test optional, this would allow more students to be accepted into a wider range of colleges. Eliminating the SAT would mean more students having the ability to receive an education at their dream university and would allow for more diverse campuses. According to the Washington Post, at least 1.2 million of the total 2.6 million test takers scored below 1,000 on the SAT or below 22 on the ACT. And this was just a few years ago, back in 2004. Last year, in 2018, the average SAT score was 1,068 points, far less than a 1,600. To put this into perspective, the average SAT score for University of California applicants ranges anywhere from a 1,200 to a 1,350. To receive what is considered to be a good SAT score for an Ivy League is a 1,590, a near perfect score. If you score 1,470, that score puts you at the bottom 25% of all applicants for that Ivy League. In other words, if you're the average student and say you want to go to UC, you must improve your score by roughly 280 points 500 if you want to be in the top 25th percentile and be considered at an Ivy League. According to the Princeton Review, the higher you score on the SAT or ACT, the more options for attending and paying for college will be made available to you. They even send out ads, such as this one, that guarantee to boost student scores to a 1,400, guaranteed, or your money back, therefore creating a barrier for minority, low-income, first-generation students who don't have the money to pay for such expensive prep courses. These students have the desire to attend college, but are prevented from doing so based on what is considered to be a low SAT score. Jim Parent is an example of a student who is like many of us today. Like many of us in the room, Parent was determined to go to college. But the only problem was his SAT score. He said his score was so low that his teachers refused to tell him the figure. He recalls a priest at his Catholic high school telling him, "Jim, I don't think you should even consider college." Parent earned a doctorate in education and worked 42 years in public schools, including 25 years as a principal. So you see, SAT scores do not by any means define intellect, nor do they define your ability to succeed in college. Had Parent even considered listening to his teachers, he would not have gone on to earn a PhD in education, helping students fulfill their dreams of receiving a higher education. If more colleges began to accept students like Jim, it would have a tremendous increase on the number of student graduates. Student graduates who aspire to change the world one step at a time. Students earning a bachelor's, a master's, earning PhDs. Students fulfilling their dreams of helping others by becoming doctors, lawyers, teachers, engineers. This can all be made possible by removing this barrier which is known as the SAT. A dean from a small private college once said, "We have great pride drawn from how well test optional policies work for first generation and diversity, and kids with special talents. For us, removing the testing was a big help in looking at everything else." By removing the SAT from the college admissions process, we're removing any previous bias that undermines a student's ability to succeed in college. We are removing this barrier which prevents students with amazing skills and talents from going to college. So, if all these studies show how GPA has a stronger correlation towards a student's ability to succeed, then why is the SAT still required at some universities? Well, the truth is, some universities are starting to realize that the SAT is not all it's turned out to be. They recognize that one test cannot accurately predict a student's ability to succeed in college, but rather hinders and undermines a student's ability to succeed at such universities. The colleges that prevent amazing students like Jim Parent from going to college, the students who toil day and night to be recognized for their achievements, the minority students, the low-income first-generation students, the students who are horrible test takers but have amazing, immeasurable talents. These students all have the ability to succeed if only the opportunity was presented to them. This opportunity that will open the door to a positive, life-changing future. Remove the SAT and you open this door of opportunity. I believe that students are more than an SAT score, and I believe more should be done to address this issue. If more colleges and universities became SAT optional, I can only imagine what our diverse future would look like. But it all begins with opening that door. Thank you.